All right, let's talk about something we all deal with, something that can feel totally overwhelming: anger. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful science-backed tool to get a handle on it. It's called the 90-second rule. Let's get right into it. You know that feeling, right? That sudden hot rush of anger that feels like a complete takeover. It's like a storm just rolls in out of nowhere and completely sweeps you away. You feel totally powerless. It's a super common feeling. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if I told you that the entire biological rush, the part that you truly can't control, it only lasts for 90 seconds? That's it. A minute and a half. I know, it sounds kind of crazy, almost impossible, right? Well, that whole idea that anger is some relentless, uncontrollable storm, it's actually a myth. The reality is something much, much more manageable. So I want you to think of it less like a storm and more like a wave. Something that rises up, it crests, and then it passes. Now, to really get this, we've got to look at the biology, at what's actually happening inside your brain when you feel that flash of anger. Because this isn't just some vague mood. It's a real, physical event. And understanding that event is the absolute key to mastering it. So it all kicks off with a trigger. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you get a really frustrating email. Whatever it is, that event sparks a physiological reaction. Your brain basically hits a button that releases this cocktail of chemicals, like adrenaline, that just floods your entire system. You can really boil this whole thing down to a simple 3-step chain reaction. First, you've got the trigger. That leads to step 2, the chemical flood in your brain. And that flood is what causes step 3, all those physical sensations we know so well. The racing heart, the tight muscles, the heat rising in your face. It's a clear biological process. And this brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today, a tool that comes directly from a Harvard-trained neuroanatomist, a true brain scientist. It's called the 90-second rule. So this brilliant idea comes from Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor. And what she discovered is pretty mind-blowing. She explains that when you have that emotional reaction, those chemicals surge through your body, and then they're completely flushed out of your bloodstream in about 90 seconds. Think about that. The purely physical, involuntary part of that emotion has a very clear expiration date. This is the most important part, so let it sink in. That initial chemical wave is completely over in a minute and a half. So if you're still feeling angry after 90 seconds, it's because your thoughts are keeping it alive. You're choosing, whether you realize it or not, to keep re-triggering that chemical reaction. Everything after that first wave is a choice. And that moment, right after the 90 seconds are up, that is the choice point. It's a fork in the road. It's where you get to decide what happens next. Are you going to react and keep feeding the anger, or are you going to just observe it and let it pass? So you really have two paths here. On one side, you've got reacting. This is our default, right? We get caught up in blaming other people, we stew over it, we might even start yelling. We are actively throwing gasoline on the fire. But then there's the other path, observing. This is choosing to just notice the feeling, to breathe through it, and to simply allow that fire to burn itself out. So let's make the difference crystal clear. Observing is like watching that 90-second biological wave from the safety of the shore. You just watch it come and go. Reacting, on the other hand, is like getting knocked over by that first wave and then using your own thoughts to create a second one and a third, and on and on. Now, all of this sounds great in theory. But how do you actually do it when you're in the heat of the moment, when you're seeing red? Okay, let's break it down into a super practical 4-step guide for actually riding that wave. Here it is. 4 simple steps. First, just acknowledge it. No judgment. Just, okay, I'm feeling angry right now. Step 2, start a mental timer for 90 seconds. This is your window. Third, and this is the magic step, shift your focus completely away from your thoughts and tune in to the physical sensations in your body. And finally, step 4, just let the wave do its thing. Feel it rise up, feel it peak, and then feel it fall away. So what should you be looking for in your body? Get specific. Can you feel your heart pounding in your chest? Are your shoulders tensed up around your ears? Is your face feeling hot? Do you feel that knot in your stomach? By focusing on these real physical things, you disconnect from the mental story that's fueling the anger. And here is the real game changer, the ultimate payoff for practicing this. You make this fundamental shift in your relationship with anger. You go from being a prisoner, helplessly dragged along by the storm, to becoming a curious observer, just watching a 90-second wave roll by. You take your power back. So, let's end with this thought. Feeling angry is inevitable. It's gonna happen. We're all human. Another 90-second wave is coming for you, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. The only question is, now that you know the rule, how are you going to use them?